live from Pattaya, Thailand, with your host, Dave D. Join us weekdays. Check out all the latest updates on talkingheads-podcast.com.
And welcome to Pattaya and welcome to Thailand. And today it's going to be a good one because it's a live cast all the way to Bangkok. What can we say? We've got Bruno Brugnano in the studio in Bangkok. Hello, Bruno. How are you?
Thank you, David, for having me, and also Bobby.
It's good to see you.
I'm doing great.
Good. It's nice to see you. Welcome to the studio. Welcome to Talking Heads. Today I'm going to take a little bit of a back seat. I'm going to let our master of controls take over because as they say, he's the music man, and his name is Bobby Parr. So over to Bobby, and nice to meet you guys.
Thank you, David.
Thank you so much, David.
Thank you so much, David. Bruno, how are you, brother?
Bobby, man.
Good to see you.
You're my hero, man. I told
No. You're my hero.
Your backing track the best, man. I tell you.
Oh, you're so kind. Coming from your refined, amazing ears, that's a beautiful compliment, Bruno. Thank you so much, man. You're my hero. So we can be each other's heroes. And actually, David here is my hero too, man. I have a bunch of heroes, and a lot of people in life come along and teach me good things that I can hopefully share with others. Thank you, brother. Yeah, so here we are, man. It was your dad's 90th birthday, and guess what? Your dad was really responsible for shaping and inspiring your musical career.
Absolutely. It's a long story. I mean, my dad, he built a guitar before I was born, and he was working at construction, and he came from the south of Italy during the very hard after the war, second war, and it was very hard time in Italy at that time. So there was a lot of, we say, like prejudice between north and south. So he had a really hard life, starting from he was very young, but he had this dream that if he had a son, because he used to play mandolin when he was young. He used to play serenade under the people pay him to go play serenade to the lovers.
Wow. So you got that musical DNA happening.
Yeah. So he made this guitar, like a custom made guitar, and he said, if I have my first son, I won't really want to play guitar.
Wow.
Maybe he made a mistake because I was obsessed since I was a little kid.
Wow.
I remember when I was 5-6 years old. I was praying. I told God, if I can play guitar, I will come to clean the church every week. Which I learned, but I never did. But I learned in church. I was playing church every weekend. And,
Wow.
So, I mean, he was a big influence on me, and also not only musically, because he always he really taught me about to be humble and respect others. And so I had a lot of experience when I was 17. I did a lot of missionary work when I was young.
Wow.
Something that now that I'm a father, I will have a problem to allow my kid to do what I've done. Being in India when I was 17 in the leprosy center. I was in Sudan in 20 years old. I was working in Sudan in middle of nowhere.
Wow.
I almost, it was never connecting with home, and there was no internet at that time, of course, right? So
wow. So you went.
But anyway, he told me the only way to grow up, to be a man, you got to see, it's through suffering sometimes, and see other people, struggle and everything. So I saw with my own eyes, really people dying for starvation and stuff, and I came back so I was really into two things in my life. I was really into like a kind of missionary, and the other thing was music, of course,
Wow.
So in the end, I kind of, of course, choose. It was very hard to, combine the two things. But, when I was in India, I was I was into Indian music. So I came back with sitar, tablas. When I was in Africa, also the same thing. And all this, all these things that really reached my musical baggage, what I mean? What I do now, especially in the movie business that I do, I have a chance to do a lot of this kind of world music thing, working for India, working for Indonesia, all the Asia, Africa also. So this background. In the end, I used a lot. All this
Wow.
experience that I had.
That
So,
Eastern sound
but
really helped you form what you're
yeah,
doing now,
yes,
and it brought
yes,
it into your
yes,
compositional path.
yes, yes,
Wow.
definitely, definitely. So my dad is still now. He's 90 years old. He is my best friend. I mean, we talk about
Does he
everything,
still
and
play? Does he
he's
still
still
play mandolin?
a little bit, not much, but he still drive, working, and he's like he never get old. Like I wrote in the post, you get old when you give up. So he never give up. So he's
Yeah.
still very young, and still understand what's going on, and is into everything that I do. He knows because he knows that I like Pat Metheny. He went to see Pat Metheny by himself.
Wow.
He went to see Joe. He went to this Jim Hall with Michel Petrucciani by himself, and so a bunch of people, that he know that I like. And he's very
Fantastic.
supportive. Yeah,
So
it's
he's
fantastic.
listened to
Thank
some Pat with you. He's listened to some Pat Metheny tunes.
Last time I saw him was 5 years ago, so I don't go much.
Okay.
I don't go back. So the only thing we talk mostly, but in 30 years, 31 years I left Italy, I just went back maybe 10 times.
Okay.
I've been always working and been always busy. It's very hard.
Yeah,
Very hard to find time. Yeah.
you're one of the busiest in Bangkok. That's for sure.
Thank you, thank you. I've been.
Amazing. You have a beautiful life up there, and your music is gorgeous, and what you're doing with films is amazing.
Thank you.
There's so many people who are proud of you and realize your talents here and realize what a beautiful package you are, to have that humility along with the genius of playing music so beautifully.
I mean, it's the only way I know to do. I mean, you cannot you have to be humble with music. This, more you know, and more you feel that you don't know.
Exactly. The
Just,
more
the
we
way around. Just,
exactly, it's humbling,
I
isn't
mean,
it? We think we're getting better,
yes,
which we are getting better, but music is so expansive. It just humbles us all the time about
oh yeah.
how
I mean,
little we really know
you
and how
see
much
now.
they're. Go ahead.
I mean, no, I just say you see kids now, 5 years old, play, incredible stuff. But
Yeah.
I think what I learned is, I think when you like you say you forget about the technical stuff, which is very important. I mean, it's very important to know you have your skills and everything, but it's more important in the real world. There are what I always when I teach, I always say the same thing. Is like everything else, what is around the world of producing, writing, and you have to deal with a lot of the stuff, and it's like the connection with the artist, with the record company, with the production company. All this is very hard. The music part is always the easiest part for me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So the rest is all, especially nowadays with the music is the industry is very very tight. You have to really to work hard, to to succeed, even if you are amazing talent. So it's not enough anymore to be, Paganini,
Yeah.
you really need to have, you
We
need to
this day and
be
age
really,
we have to multitask. All of us artists,
yeah, exactly.
in the old days
Exactly.
we could play music and get gigs here and there, but now you have to do
Yes.
everything.
So
You have to do
Yeah,
everything.
exactly. You got to be your engineer, you have to be your own producer, your own director, your own psychologist. Actually, the psychology behind the music is the most important. It's
Yes.
so hard, it's so hard because most of the time you work, and the hardest part is to get paid right now.
There
You
you
know.
go.
isn't that the
Yeah.
story all over though?
Yeah. I mean, the way it is, But so you have to be tough. And like I say, sometimes because I teach sometimes university or something, and I see amazing talent, amazing. But I say, how you can survive in this world? You really need to find your, find your psychology, like through all this jungle, So,
Yeah.
but it's good. So I just say, it's very important to have a skill, but it's also important to manage everything, to be 360-degree all around. So your business, your technology, your musical skill, which is very important, of course.
Bruno, you're an amazing jazz player and composer. Can I ask you how you made the transition from being a great player to your first film?
Actually started a little bit from, I left Italy to go to Los Angeles. Actually, before in Italy, I had a chance to do a summer course for Berkeley.
Okay.
We have a Berkeley in Italy. So I kind of, I before I was, I studied a master I did a master in jazz with one very famous teacher in Italy. But what it made me change to move to Los Angeles was when I did the Berkeley. I saw the system they were teaching. It was easy for me to, kind of uh, to understand. And so I applied to Musician Institute in Los Angeles. And so I was there for a few years and studied with, Scott Anderson, Joe DiOrio.
Wow, all
Before
the
I studied with
greats.
I studied with Joe Pass in Italy before.
Wow.
He's also Italian. And then there was uh, there's so many teachers I can't remember. But after that, I started touring with the band from Los Angeles. We came to Asia and ended up to be in Bangkok after being around Hong Kong, Singapore. So when I was here and the band split up, I started writing songs when I was very young. My first recording, I was 16, and my very first album I did at 18 years old with a famous artist
Wow.
in Italy.
10 years old.
So no, 18, 18.
Oh,
I was
18.
16
Okay.
and then 18. So my very first album. But I started recording when I was 15, 16. I was really into funky, so I was a good funky rhythm player. So the people called me. There was the disco era at that time in Italy. The disco was very famous in Italy at that time, right? So I did a lot of recording, like a station recording, just to be what do you say, like a comping guitar player. But I always like to write my own things. I always write songs since I was very young. So when I
Italiano
came,
funk was great, Bruno. I played a lot
yeah,
of
the disco.
I played a lot of that Italiano funk in those days. I mean, you
Yeah,
guys could
yeah,
rock.
yeah.
You knew a bass line anyway. Let's put it that way.
Yes, yes, it was very popular, and I mean, I was in that scene that time. So, but when I came to Bangkok, I used to play in clubs mostly, but I have so much time during the day. So I've been introduced to the biggest company in Thailand. It's called JMM Grammy.
Okay.
And that time, actually, I only have a fusion song. There wasn't no pop song. I was writing some. I was planning to do my own album one day, so I was writing mostly like a fusion stuff. But the producer in Grammy really liked what I was doing, But I didn't have idea, about Thai music, right? So I used to go to meeting every week and write my own things. And if it took 1 year before I got one song accepted, and that time after the song being accepted, actually the song became like a promotion song for this famous band. It's called Micro Band. It's a very famous rock band. Um, so from that time, the owner of Grammy, Kunrawat, he really brought me under his wings, and he said, he really liked me. So what they assigned me to do, I started to do like instrumental music. I I just I did about 6 albums of Thai songs arranged kind of like a kind of soft jazz and pop jazz kind of thing.
Okay.
So they really helped me to understand like the melody, the because I was like to transcribe the songs and arranging. So I kind of like after 6 albums, I knew I mean 100 songs, Thai songs, right? So
Wow.
and after that, they really liked it. Actually, those albums they still play at the Thai Airways before the airplane take off. They still play. I don't know if they still. They used to play before the airplane was taking off. It was kind of like instrumental music. And soon after that, they assigned me, the first album was for a famous singer named Nantida. And they really liked what I've done. And after that, I started working 3, 4 albums at the time for 15 years. And I produced I produced and wrote more than 100 albums in years.
Wow.
So, and I wrote 1,000 songs and I have 100 hits I have a hit song that been all the Thai know the song that I wrote. I mean, if
My
they don't
hero.
know me, but when I play the song, everybody knows my songs.
Wow, Bruno.
And the song won many awards. Like best album of the year, best song of the year, many. So I worked for many years, and
Uh,
I start to write songs also for movies and for TV series, right? And this is what brought me to the movie world, right? The movie industry, because I
Bruno,
wrote many. Yes, please.
can I ask
Yes.
a question? I mean, it's and Bobby's going to jump in as well here. I mean, I know myself from looking at some notes that I wrote about you a little bit earlier on. I know that in 1996 you arranged the album, of course, that was with the Thai Culture Centre in Bangkok. I mean, that was played a lot, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's another career also. You talk about the King project, right? About the King.
Yes.
Yes, I can tell you a little bit about more, because this is another part of my life about like I've been for 4 years the personal composer of the Princess Uborat, which is the first daughter of the king. So I for her I was hired by her, and I was like, she used to come to my house 3 times a week, from the palace to my house, everything locked, the way it is, when the royal family moved.
Wow.
So I did 2 movies for her. I brought maybe 25 songs, and I did 3 seasons of The Princess Diary. I did music for her foundation, Miracle of Life, and also I worked for the king, also for the great Ramanine, and I did an album with all this with all his composition. And this is what you're talking about. It was a project that we did during the period in Bangkok. There was a lot of flooding, and we collect so much money. I mean, the king used this money, I think, for help the help about the problem about the flooding in Bangkok. Um, and um, and then I did also 2 movies dedicated for the king. And one project was about his project about the cloud catchers call, about like the artificial rain. Another project was like 2 years ago in it was at the 50th anniversary of Ascension to the Throne, and then the 6th anniversary. And so anyway, I was like, and now I'm working a lot of also the new king Ramaten. I did the new Royal Anthem at the cinema SF cinema. I arranged it before the movie starts. It's my arrangement.
Fantastic.
um I did the previous one, I did the new one, and I
Fantastic.
also do a lot of other work. I do also other work, but
Well, I
yeah, this is
cannot.
another career actually. Yeah,
I
yeah.
can honestly say that me and Bobby have stood up for you. We've stood up for your music at the beginning of the cinemas. So in that way, I'm very
Yes.
appreciative. I'm very appreciative
Thank you so
of
much.
what you're doing. I think, I mean, Bobby's doing this, but I mean, just listening to you now, I mean, amazing guy, amazing artist, brilliant.
Oh, no, thanks.
Thank you.
But I was telling about the after when I always say I start to kind of have recognition, like as the problem it was, I don't know, I was probably the only foreigner here, doing what I was doing. It was hard to ask, actually how to move inside you know the the market. It's hard, I speak Thai but not that good, and so all my meetings has been always in English, and I wrote all the songs, like the Thai songs. I was lucky because I have the best songwriter, I mean, the lyricist. I write the melody, but I have the best lyricist, like Thai lyricist. So it's been all like a learning. It's like it took many years, and but I was lucky because I was learning, and I was get paid for learn too. It was quite amazing, and I luckily it led me to what I love the most now is like scoring movies. Start writing songs for movies. I wrote the main title. My very first movie was A Beautiful Boxer.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
a story about like a boxer who was um, uh, he was a guy who became a girl. And anyway, and I brought I brought an album. I did the main theme, and also I wrote an album. And and this one opened up, and then with this one I was nominated to the Thai Academy Award for the best song of the or movie, original movie score. And then I the same year I did another song for another famous movie. It's called Kung Papa in February, and I was also I won this one, the Thai Academy Award for best song
Congratulations
of the year.
again.
No, I mean it was so. This was the beginning of like working in the movies industry. So then I did a second movie. It was accepted at Cannes Festival, so I was lucky. This famous director Kachai called me, and it was like a kind of indie movie. But when I watched, I told him, I think this movie I have a chance to go to Cannes, and he said, yeah, sure. So he said, you want to do it? Sure, sure, I'll do it. And then after 1 week, he called me, say, Bruno, we've been accepted to Cannes, so you better hurry
Wow.
up and finish the tour. So, and from that, I did another, I don't know how many movies that I
The
started
phone was
working.
ringing after. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, I was working. I will not stop since now. Even this year with the COVID problem, I was lucky. I did 8 movies since January. Since January, yes.
Come on, 8
I did.
movies.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
I did a Chinese movie, which is coming up soon. I did a Vietnamese movie. A Thai movie now is in Netflix. Also, it's called The Maid. If you guys want to see.
Yeah, that was like number 1 in Thailand a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, yes, it was.
I
like a
remember
month
seeing
ago.
that on Netflix and going, wow, Bruno. And I checked it out and like, wow,
Yeah.
amazing.
There's a lot of jazz in the score, actually. It was
Yeah, I definitely heard some thick voicings and yeah, for sure.
yeah. It
Beautiful.
was like a little jazz on it, and then other work, and yeah. But I just finished today a short movie for a French director, and luckily, like what I say in the beginning, it's not just do the music. I can do anything. When there's no budget, the budget is tight. I can do dialogue. I can clean dialogue. I can do sound design. I do, Foley, a final mix. I can do surround mix. I do everything. So I can do from my studio to cinema.
Bruno, can I ask you a question? Is that okay with you, Bobby?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What I wanted to know is this. I mean, I did quite a few things with MTV in the past, yeah?
Yes.
And what I wanted to know is being a finalist at the first MTV Asia Awards. Of course, that was held in New York with the singer Mai. I mean, how was that?
Yes. This was, with my I did 3 albums for her, and 2, 3 albums, and we're still like very close friends. And matter of fact, she asked me to write a few songs now, maybe this month or something. But yeah, with my I did a song Prajai, which the song became so famous.
Yeah, it did.
And but I did another song that I got another award from the Princess Pratet. I went to the palace to get an award for best song of the year, and so she is very international actress because besides being a singer, she's also a very great actress. She did the movie Suryo Thai, and she won this year best actress for a TV series that she did last year. So she was one of my dreams to work with her when I came to Thailand, because I used to
Wow.
play in the club, and I used to play in the club. It's called Capital City, and I see her videos all the time. She look gorgeous, she was, and I say one day I'm gonna work for her, and then I did. It was great.
Dream come true. Beautiful.
Yeah, and I also MTV. I had with Marsha, another famous singer. We had like a few nominations with her. So it was in Singapore at that time. Yeah, and
Beautiful.
yeah, I mean, like is I think that is with Marsha, it was funny because the album actually is the very first album I did on my own studio, and I didn't have a studio. And she's the most beautiful girl in Thailand. I mean, she was, oh my God. And so I had like this studio inside my bedroom, right? It's nothing that I cannot say now. Anyway, but anyways, it was fun. She came and said, okay, let's do some demos, and And I brought, I bought like a first town car. I have like few things, and but I had to turn off the air conditioner because it was too hot. So otherwise the sound was coming to the mic. So she was like singing like a checkout dress and everything, man. And she was behind me, and I said, "Oh my God, I can't work like that, man." She was, and I mean, so we did the whole album, and then we did a demo. We said, Bruno, I really love the sound. Let's do the whole album here. He said, "You sure?" Yeah, sure, sure. So we did the whole album like that. It was like
Wow.
it was my kid's bedroom actually,
There you
with the no
go.
air conditions, wet into there, and the song became number one in all the
Wow,
radio
what a
for like 2
story.
months. Yeah, it was like, and I think one of the song it was picked by MTV. It was nominated to in Singapore, for the video.
Wow.
It's called My, I think. Yeah, it's quite amazing. So, I have a lot of these stories, and it's like, but I was lucky, because like I said, beside try to do my best, my best is always like try to be their best friends also, try to understand what they like and listen them, and they feel like they have chance to talk with me, because sometimes the problem was always like the company tried to control everything, but for me it's important that the artist is happy, right? Or she's happy, because
Good for
for
you.
me, I do one album and then I start the next one. But for them, they have to promote. It will take. If the album succeed, it's great. If you not succeed, they don't have many chance to do
What
another one.
what
You know what I
about what
mean?
about
So,
Bruno? What about helping out and composing and arranging Amazing Thailand? I mean, how was that experience? Of course, I mean
I did.
that was with
Yeah,
Bruce,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Bruce Gaston. Yes,
Bruce
I did
Gas.
with the Bruce Gaston. I was for a while. I was in the band Phong Nam, which is this band. I don't know if you know about. He's Phong Nam. Phong Nam is a Bruce Gaston band, which was loved by Frank Zappa.
Mm.
He's a crazy band. I mean, really, really amazing. It was Thai music mixed with jazz and stuff. So when I was doing the project for the King, the one that you mentioned about the Thai Culture Center, Bruce was working also in the same project, doing the Thai part, the Thai traditional part, which opened the show. But me, I just arranged all the King's in a jazz style, all the King composition. So we met at the studio, and then we became friends. And then he likes what I was doing, and for me, of course, he was like a legend, right? And so he invited me to play with the band, and then we did a concert we opened for this Sea Games at the stadium here in Ramkampen. And the president of the Philippines saw the concert and invited us to go to the Philippines to
Mm.
play for him. So we went to Manila and with also Carabao. Carabao was a guest star. And and then so the same period we did also the Amazing Thailand team. So we start working together and performing. I used to perform with him quite a few times, and yeah, it was. I mean, he's another level. He's really genius. What he does. I mean, he's. I mean, he's one of the top guy that has like knows about Thai music that even among the Thais. I mean,
You like that though, don't you,
the
Bobby?
Thai tradition.
You like that, Bobby, don't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bobby likes the Thai music as well. We both do. I mean, there's so many
Oh
angles to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
There's so many angles to it.
And
Bobby.
it's so hard, it's so, I mean, it's so hard because it's kind of a flamenco, it's like it's kind of like I have to explain. It's like there are lines that everybody knows.
Yeah.
So if one line connects to another line, like a pattern and stuff, and those guys are encyclopedia. I mean, they're incredible. They're really incredible. I
Bruno,
mean,
are
like a
you?
Thai, yeah.
Bruno, I was going to ask, are you tracking and cutting everything from your own studio, or sometimes do you go to do bigger string arrangements out to bigger studios? Are you doing everything? You're doing everything yourself, yeah?
No, no, no. Like last year, I was lucky. I scored together with a Chinese composer. I did a movie. It's called Nezha. The Chinese movie. This movie beat every record in the history of China.
Come on.
The box office was close to $1 billion. and it was like, of course, I didn't get any royalties. We just like flat fee. That's it.
Oh
But
wow! Can I be your
yeah, we did
manager?
2 movies.
Can I be your manager
Yeah,
and
we
get a
did
better
like,
deal for
yeah,
you next
please,
time?
anytime, man. Please,
Bruno.
I can sign tonight. I can sign tonight.
No,
Yes.
no disrespect, mate, but you need direction, and we're the guys.
If you guys want to manage me, I will sign tonight, man. I will come to
We got to
Pattaya
get
and
you a
sign.
better deal on that $1 billion.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it is. I started this show saying that the hardest part is to get paid, right?
True.
So that's what I was saying. So I mean, I did this project. Another project is Jade Dynasty, which is only even in Thailand was 1 month straight in cinema. Both movies. One was an animation movie, one incredible movies, and both they did so well. And we record the orchestra. We record in Budapest.
Wow.
And
It must
sometime,
be
yeah.
it must be an amazing rush to hear your compositions being played by an orchestra. That must be like one of the greatest feelings in the world.
But because most of the time when you do mocap means like when you present the the piece of music that you know to the composer, to the director. You have to kind of present in the way that it sounds like an orchestra playing, right?
Sure.
So I learned so much all this year. I tried to really work on all these libraries and make really sounds.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about libraries that you're using right now.
Yeah, like make it sounds really realistic, right? So I think like the surprise is less surprise. I will say that maybe a long time ago when if you write just with a pen and pencil, and then the music come up. When you do with the new technology now, you get a close idea what it's gonna be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's gonna be sound better, of course. It's gonna be sound much better. But I mixed, this Chinese animation movie was the first movie also being in IMAX. The first animation movie in China to be in IMAX format. And I mix here in my small studio, the one you see in the back. I have like and I mix everything here.
5.1.
I mean, I was 5.1, and then it was like the Atmos. We sent the stamps, and then they did in Beijing. They did the final mix. But the movie went absolutely like it was it got so much like rewards. It was really amazing.
Bruno, David and I want to manage you.
Please.
We get you a better deal. You deserve it.
Say, some of the projects that I really like that I've been called is also that's why actually I got this deal with Orchestra Tools with this new library, which is like a Chinese being recorded in Pattaya that I was telling you before, and recorded by Richard Harvey and Harry Gregson Williams. And I like this combination, East and West. That's what I do a lot. I did a TV series last year for Thai PBS. It was like a kind of like a period Thai movie about about like royal food and stuff. So I also do, I always do the mix like the East and West. I did one of the projects that I'm really proud. I did music for the Borobudur in Indonesia. I don't know if you are aware about. It's the biggest Buddhist temple in the world.
Oh, okay.
And I composed 6 hours of music. It's an interactive project where it's only sold on hard disk because it's 60 gig.
Wow.
And basically you visit the Borobudur temple, and you can the director is an Austrian genius director. His name Titus Lieber. And what he did is kind of like study there is like a bas relief like in Borobudur where they tell the story about the Buddha life, and there's a lot of philosophical, and what he did is just translate and make what do you call, like, you with a computer you can click on any of these stones. I think 3,500 stones. Wow. And they become alive, they become animated.
Sure.
They tell you the story. There is story. So every stone has like this little mini movie. It's a mini movie. So I went to Indonesia. I kind of sampled the gamelan orchestra, and I have like a nice library. So I did
Bruno,
I did that.
can I ask you a question,
Yep.
if that's okay?
Yep.
I
Please.
mean, your career and what you do and your music background and what you've achieved is incredible. Okay. I mean, the contract side of it and talking with people and the money side of it, me and Bobby can definitely sort that one out.
Okay.
Can I ask you something? I mean, after everything you've done in your life and where you are now, what would be your ultimate fantasy that you could do? If somebody could say to you today, Bruno, you can do whatever you want with whoever you want to do it with, in the orchestra side of it or the music side of it or the production side of it. I mean, what would be your ultimate goal that you would just say yes without even thinking about it? Do you have anything like that?
Work with Pat Metheny.
Yes.
There you go.
I mean, yes. I mean, that I was lucky in my life. I met people like Chicoria. I was close friend with John Patitucci, and I went to Chicoria studio when I was in Los Angeles. I had to see them. They were recording all these people, but it was like my dream. I was in Los Angeles. I was meeting all these amazing. But Pat, if I meet Pat now, I will not find any word to say. He saved my life. He really. It was a bad period in Italy. Before I left Italy, I went through a hard time. And one of the reasons I read, there is a biography of Pat Metheny written by an Italian journalist. And the one made me decide to go to the States. I think Pat Metheny music and his story it was incredible. But I say him, he's the ultimate. But I say for movies, I don't have like favorite thing. For me, every experience is a blast, especially now in time. I mean, if the movie is good, the director is good, the story is good. I mean, is a blast. I will never turn down nobody.
Working with GMM Grammy though. I mean, how do you find it? Do you still work with them together with them? Are you working closely still? No, because it's changed a lot now, isn't it?
It's changed a lot, and unfortunately not. And it's sad. We had actually last year I was lucky. I came back I did a music director for one of the most famous band in Thailand. It's called Nuvo. And we did 2 concerts at the Impact Arena. And I did a 6 months of work arranging almost 50 songs for them for the concert. And it took 6 months of work. So we did 2 amazing concerts. But they are not under GMM anymore. They were like a famous GMM Grammy artist, but now they're independent. I would say nowadays there is no much music. All the music is in the TV series or, and there's indie label. I don't really know what's going on in the music industry. What I do mostly is like for commercials or for TV series, stuff like that. I don't write songs just to write songs.
It's too much. It's too much instant pop now, isn't it? Instant pop, and they pop, and they're there for a few weeks, and then they've gone.
And then everybody write their own song. Most the young artists they like to produce their own thing, which is good. I mean, I don't say they're good or bad, but it's good they have a chance to kind of with a new technology, YouTube, whatever. You don't really need a record company anymore. What do you need for?
Bruno, I'd like to ask you a question about composition. Do you get inspired like per movie, per cue when you're watching all the cuts and all the scenes of the different movies you're composing for? Do you get inspired by each cue and then compose from that, or do you have stuff that's already percolating in your subconscious and mind that you draw from?
I think like both way. I mean, the first thing you do is watching the movie, of course, and try to understand, because I'm a movie lover. I mean, I watch every movie come out, in cinema or whatever.
Can I ask you a question about that also? Because does the director or the musical director of these movies, does he talk to you and say, "Oh, Bruno, we want this or we want that," and you work with him on that way, or does he or she give you full reign on how you want to go about composing?
Depends. Sometimes I have. I would say, like, some director have a strong idea what they want, and maybe I watch the movie and I feel the direction is. I was like maybe I have feel to do in different way, and they say, oh, no, no, no. So it's fine. Of course, is my duty to follow whatever idea he has, right? And but sometimes I have a freedom to, and when I have a chance, I always ask actually to send me the movie with no music,
Okay.
because when the editor cut the movie, normally they put some temp music, and the temp music is very well known by among all the composers. Is very hard, because when you watch the movie, when the director watch the movie with the temp music, it get attached to it, and it's very hard then to convince to accept other style or other kind of music, right?
So
So,
what's the
but
percentage? What's the percentage of the compositions and movies that you're getting that have temp music already that come along with the first cut?
I mean, if the movie is temp, I mean, they put temp, is temp from beginning to the end. But
Okay.
if I ask sometimes not to put anything, so I decide to, and
Yeah.
I spot them. I spot the music with the director, or I spot by myself, and I tell him what I think. They what I like best, because this why give me freedom. Spotting the music. Spotting means like find the right place to put the music, right?
Yeah.
It's very hard. It's an art by himself, because sometimes the director thinks, this is silence, and I thought I had to put the music, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so in the end, like maybe you write 2 hours of music and then they only use 1 hour, you know what I mean? So so it's very important. The beginning is very clear. Maybe sit down with the director and spot the music together and say, okay, I want the music here, here's silence, here the music, blah blah blah. And the style, um, I would say I have a pretty much freedom. I did a Steven Seagal 2 movies. The last 2 movies that I did for Steven Seagal. It was a funny story actually. I received this call one day from like WhatsApp call, and he said, "Hey, I'm Steve. You know his voice. I have a very particular voice, right? I would like you to score my movie." And I say, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
joke. I thought it was a joke. Somebody was like making a joke, and then I realized it was him for real. I mean, so and it was funny. I mean, I said, of course. I mean, I'm honored to do that. And he started to tell me, the first thing he told me, he said, Bruno, I want really Chinese kind of sound. The music had to be very Chinese, and I hate flute. He told me. So fine, Chinese music is a lot of flute, right? I mean,
Right.
so I said, okay, no flute. But then he told me about, adding this percussion and eru. He said, you have a good samples for eru? He said, I don't know, I have some. So he didn't like it, I mean. So that's why he introduced me to One Pichu, which is the guy that I work for the Chinese movie. The guy I
Oh,
kind of like I
fantastic.
work kind of like a ghost writer for him basically. Um, anyway, so he's an amazing player. I mean, he came from Hong Kong. He came to Bangkok, and he scored the whole movie. He played the arrow for the whole movie like that in 2 hours. He had like 3 days. We just spent 2 hours, and it
Wow.
was done.
Wow.
He has
Wow. Wow.
almost perfect pitch. He was writing. He was watching the movie and writing. He studied at the Royal College in London. But so he can write a real score. But also he write in the Chinese way, which he tried to explain, but I didn't understand. It's like so while he was listening, he was writing the lines that I want him to play, and he said, "You want to listen again?" No, no, I'm done. So he went inside the studio, record first take. That's it. It's unbelievable, man. So I've been introduced to but anyway, but I would say for this movie Attrition, Steve was really hands-on. He was like really checking, but he let me change only a few parts. The rest was. But the second movie I did is called General Commander. I didn't have anyone correct on it. The movie was accepted from beginning to the end
Wow.
without any. And I also
Beautiful.
sang 2 songs in the movie. It was a funny story. There's a scene because like Italian mafia, right? So they put like the Godfather song and they say we cannot use, of course, right?
Right. Right.
Uh, so I wrote something similar, like I wrote the lyrics in Italian and I sang by myself. So
Wow.
I sang, and the director is Philip Martinez. He tell me, Bruno, everything okay, but I want to ask you that song. I say, yeah, I know. It's just a guide, I just did it by myself. I'm gonna find somebody. Say, no, I love it. Keep it the way it is,
Oh, wow.
So you hear my voice in the movie, it's singing like Italian
Fantastic.
opera. It's like Italian opera. So
Beautiful.
it's like very random, like all the, sometimes you have no comment. Sometimes, like the last Vietnamese movie that I did, oh my God, movies are divided in reels. So it was 5 reels. I did 3 times every reel, 3, 4 times. I mean, the director was so picky. I mean, I was like, but in the end, it come out good. It push you in the way that I actually make everything make better. So you have to be patient. Many times I try to shut up, otherwise I will blow up. It was just, but come on, man. Nobody cares. You know, it's like
I
a
am
1 second late. 1 second before, or like. But some people really care. It's important. It makes you feel like you got to have a lot of patience to do this work. If you have no patience, forget it.
absolutely not be attached to
Forget it.
anything.
No, exactly. Not
Yeah.
exactly like that.
Bruno, are you
If
composing
they tell
on?
you, yeah.
Are you mostly composing on guitar, and you also play piano? So you're composing on both instruments, yeah?
Yeah, on piano, mostly on piano, mostly on piano.
Yeah.
But guitar, I got guitar synth. I use the Fishman
Sure.
system, which is pretty good. I mean, it's pretty fast. But I will say I use only 10%, maybe 90%. Because when you play guitar, mostly you always go the way you know. I mean, but with the
Sure.
piano,
Sure.
because it's not my instrument, I discover things that sometimes I don't. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, and I'm a good programmer, I guess. So I haven't. I'm not a good piano player, but I can, put the idea together, and then I can work on the, programming well. It sounds like a real a real piano player maybe play something like that. But if I need, I can call friends. And I used to do in the past, but now the budgets are very tight. So and also the schedule are very tight, and so sometimes it's easier I do by myself. I do faster. So and yeah. But
Cool. Yeah.
beside that, you asked me before my jazz career.
Mm.
I didn't forget. So the last 3 years I did 2 albums.
Fantastic.
One is called Bangkok New Trio.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Another one is called Bangkok Next.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy it. I mean, I have this bunch of musicians, which is some of the best musicians. They come through Bangkok, and then I become friend, and so I asked them to play, and they did, and they all did for free, and it's an amazing project. And I still do gigs, play that music. I'm going to do Wonderful Festival in Pattaya in January 9th, the 9th. It
Oh,
just got confirmed.
fantastic.
That's yearly. Yeah.
I'm
It's
gonna
here
play
every year.
the Wonderful Festival.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
But
With your jazz trio?
and quartet. I have a quartet, but it's all like Thai. The rest, but the best Thai musician.
Who's playing
I mean, they
upright
are
with you?
really.
Who's playing upright
Huh?
with you?
Oh,
Upper-
Mark. His name is Mark. He's the best. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Wow.
And then I know they're really young cats, but they're all like my head-on teachers.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have, and we've been playing, in we do gigs. Now I start again gigging this month
Yeah,
at
things
the
are
place
opening
called
up now,
Melting
yeah?
Clock. Yeah. So we had a chance to practice in a bit. And
Put me down,
get-
Bruno. Put me down for the triangle. Okay, I'm in. Get the triangle. I'm in.
Yeah.
Include,
Yeah, please.
include
For the
me.
cowbell.
I'm,
The cowbell.
I'm an expert. I'm an expert on the tambourine and the triangle. I've got it down to a T now.
Yes. But we play already at the Wonderful Festival. I played a few years ago with
Been
with
there,
a
Bobby.
different band.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice festival.
Yeah, I was there 2
very
years
nice
ago.
festival.
I was there 2 years ago. I
Played?
Yeah, I played there. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Maybe they invite you this year too.
Oh, thank
Because
you, man.
it's gonna be more local this year. They told me they cannot bring artists from abroad, right? So
Yeah.
they're gonna be more like yeah.
I love it. It's a great festival. It's a lot of fun.
But I keep practicing, play, and but it's not that like I say, what I practicing guitar now is mostly we say just try to play songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To learn more standards and instead like to I don't really I'm really lazy because I work all day. I'm really lazy to scale and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I, I think, I think that my ears grow a lot. So even if you don't touch the instrument sometimes, but you grow musically, right? So it really helps a lot. So I have a lot of music in my head sometimes when I play.
Yeah, Larry
And
Carlton talked about that once, about putting the guitar down for a couple of weeks and not playing. And I've
yeah,
actually done that
definitely.
before, and it really opens you up in this whole nother level. You think, wow, my chops are going to really
Absolutely.
suffer, but this whole other thing
No.
happens.
I mean, there's the mechanics, that you keep going. Sometimes even watching the TV and play the guitar, your finger keep moving.
Yeah.
But they say like it is that what I was telling to connect what I was saying in the beginning. You have those amazing kids playing, but the ultimate things is music is a communication. So it doesn't matter if you play a million notes or you play one note, right? I mean, you more you get older and more appreciate like the people, like Bill Frisell, where he played
Bill is one of
more
my
soulful.
favorite players
I
on the
mean,
planet.
so we have in Italy, if you heard Salvatore Mancuso, which is light years ahead. You saw this guitar player, this new kid, Italian kid,
No, what's his name?
is Salvatore Mancuso. You know,
Salvatore Mancuso.
I will send you the link.
Yeah, I got to check
Anyway,
him out.
is Aldi Meola just saw he just wrote to him and said, please man, you're gonna kill us all. He's
Seriously?
light years ahead. He's light years ahead, everyone. I mean,
Wow.
he play every style like nobody ever played. I mean, it's insane. But he's also very humble kid, a very humble kid. But I say
And how
also
old?
like I don't want to tell name. Maybe it's not good on podcast, but there's amazing kids. But I like the music. Not really. You know what I mean? I mean, it's to create a good music. And great music that I really want to listen. It takes like a life experience sometimes. Also, you know what I mean? So, when I listen Bill Frisell, Pat Metheny, all those guys, I can feel like a landscape. I can see places. And
Absolutely.
I don't know. That's what I try to do with my music. Is um, I'm like a 1% of what is in the market now, like guitar players.
Very cool.
But I will try just to do my own experience. I just make people to experience what I feel. That's the most important thing. Yeah.
Your
And
essence
those
is
albums, if you want to, yeah,
the Bruno Brugnano essence is a beautiful, incredible essence that we all enjoy so much, Bruno.
yeah. I mean, it's ultimate. It's just like a talking. When just talking, we make any point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody can be amazing talker, but don't touch people hard.
Yes, it's about the
So
heart.
yeah, it's about the heart, everything. So I think one thing that I try to do and is that I put a lot of feeling in my music. That's what I try to do, and that's why I keep working. And also, like I say, you have to be able now to work. If you come at work a job that is only electronic music, I can do, but it's all classical music, and I also do. Even if I don't know how to do it, I never say no. I will learn. You know what I mean?
Hey, Bruno, we're going to take this
So
telecast to YouTube at some point. So when before I do that, before I load it to YouTube, I'd like to get like a discography of links that I can share on that, so I could point people in the direction to find your work, because I've only heard so much of your material, but I'm curious to hear this other stuff, and I'd really I think it would bless everyone to have those links. So you'll send them to me?
The only problem is like in YouTube, they always block my stuff because
Ah,
they'll copyright. And
got it.
even when I'm so sometimes I put in,
They block your
I
own
have a lot.
stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, they block my own all the time, all the time. Like the Chinese movies, or they're all like even Steven Seagal movie. There's all blocked. I cannot put any music out. So but I can send you the link. I mean, I have my website. I try to keep update a bit. But yeah, is pity. Like sometimes I told people when I never I live inside this little studio here. I live like a monk, and so I don't talk much. When I meet someone, I start talking non-stop. And at the end, I always say, sorry, man. I bombard you with information. I feel like I'm like a so big ego, but I try
No,
to.
no, 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 no. I'm not feeling
I
that
try
at all,
to share
Bruno.
my what do you call it? My
You're passionate. You're
passion.
passionate.
My
You're
passion.
passionate.
I'm very passionate. Yeah, my passion.
We've been very passionate about you today. I mean, it's been great to have you on this podcast. We're gonna leave the last word with Bobby because I mean, all he's been doing all this week is talking about you. I've heard, in fact, I'm sick of hearing your name.
Please, send somebody to kill me.
Listen, Bruno, listen,
I can't wait to sit down and play some guitar with you, bro.
Yeah, as a non-musician,
anytime,
I've loved it.
Anytime.
I've loved listening to you. It's been absolutely brilliant. Bobby, I'll leave the last word with you.
And actually, as I'm looking at you, Bruno, we started this, the sun was out, but now the sun has gone down and there's this beautiful view through that window behind you. What floor are you on?
Oh, really?
It's gorgeous.
Oh, no. It's just a house. Yeah, it's not much. Yeah, thank you.
That's a wallpaper. That's a wallpaper, Bobby.
It looks amazing. It looks like you're on this amazing perch right there.
But yeah. I know,
hey, Bruno, thank you so much for joining us. And we should do a part 2, maybe a part 3 sometime because your life is so interesting to me and us.
I got so much stuff. I mean, we just scratched the surface, man.
Yeah. And I want to thank you Dave and I want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for taking this time to.
Thank you, David, so much. Really.
Thank you.
And Bobby, I love you guys.
Thank you very much.
And if you come in Bangkok, also for the old people, want to send a message on Messenger or WhatsApp, I always like to answer people.
Thank you, Bruno.
Thanks a lot.
If you have any question, people want to show me the work, I'm always open to check it out. Yeah.
You're so inspiring. I can't wait to share this on YouTube and more on Facebook, and other people can know about how beautiful you make more of the world. Thank you, Bruno.
And if you want to be my agent, man,
yes,
come down, man. I come to see you, man.
Dave and I are going to talk about that right after this, and we're going to.
Bruno,
so much life.
It's already written in stone, mate. It's already being written as you're talking. The only thing we've got to sort out, and I'm going to leave you on this one, is percentage.
Oh man. You can get 90% if you pay me right. No problem.
Thank you, Bruno.
Thank you, man.
It's been a blessing, Bruno. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon, yeah?
Yes, love you guys. Love you. Love everybody.
Talking Heads podcast live from Pattaya, Thailand with your host, Dave D. Join us weekdays. Check out all the latest updates on talkingheads-podcast.com.